Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is lighting class 2. Okay, I hope you saw the lighting class 1. So we will have a quick revision of what we saw last class. Okay, light is nothing but an electromagnetic radiation which is combination of electrical and magnetic field. Okay, so light has a visible spectrum. So visible spectrum has these 7 colors, right, with red with the highest wavelength and violet with the lowest wavelength. Okay, so speed of light is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Okay, and then we saw solid angle, that is omega. Solid angle denoted by omega, that is nothing but area divided by r square, right? Then we saw terms where solid angle is applicable, that is flux. Okay, units is lumens, don't forget the units, denoted by F. Formula is F is equal to 4 pi I. Okay, then we saw intensity, that is candela. Okay, I is equal to F by 4 pi. So flux is basically the lumen level of a light source. Intensity is the strength of the beam, right? Then we saw luminance and illuminance. Luminance and illuminance both are denoted by E. One is denoted with related with distance and another is related with area. Okay, meter square, that is area. So then we saw two formulas, inverse square law and Lambert's cosine law. Inverse square law is nothing but E is equal to I by r square, which is related to the distance. So when the distance double, original intensity becomes 1 by 4th. Okay, and the second formula we saw is E is equal to I by r square cos theta. This is Lambert's cosine law. Okay, so these were the terms which we saw in first class. So in second class we will be seeing various terms, so let's get on with it. The first term is utilization factor. Utilization factor is given by ratio of lumens on working plane divided by lumens emitted by light source. So consider this figure. So this light bulb will have a particular lumen value. It will have its particular flux, right? So when this light beam incidents on its surface, so this surface will start glowing. So this surface will emit lumens. Okay, obviously the lumens on working plane will be less than lumens emitted by light source, right? So the ratio between these two is known as utilization factor. Okay, so utilization factor is nothing but lumens on working plane divided by lumens on light source. See, now lumens on working place is generally smaller value and lumens on emitted by light source is generally a bigger value. So in most of the cases UF value is smaller than 1 because denominator is greater than numerator. Okay, so the various factors affecting utilization factors are type of light fitting, color surface of walls and ceilings. So some colors reflect bright light and some colors absorb light, so these colors also matter. Mounting height of lamps and area to be illuminated. So this was the first term, that is utilization factor. Now the second term we are going to see is depreciation factor. DF is equal to illumination under normal working condition divided by illumination when everything is clean. So consider there are two bulbs. Okay, one is absolutely clean, one is new, and one is a old fitting which has light dust accumulated on its surface. Okay, so the lumens emitted in everything when everything is clean will be higher than lumens emitted by light source which is covered by dust, right? So the ratio between these two are known as depreciation factor. See this word depreciation, it means reduction. Okay, See here, illumination is high on working plane because the light is clean. Therefore, it will be a brightly illuminated surface, and when there is dust particles accumulated on the light surface, so lumens will be low. Hence, illumination will be low on this surface, right? So this was depreciation factor given by illumination under normal working condition divided by illumination when everything is clean. So we saw two terms, utilization factor and depreciation factor. Okay. So the next term is maintenance factor. Maintenance factor is nothing but the reciprocal of depreciation factor. Okay. MF is equal to 1 by DF. Okay. We saw the formula for DF. So its reciprocal is maintenance factor. The maintenance factor is based on how often the light is cleaned or replaced. So this directly depends on this paragraph, right? It takes into account such factors as decreased efficiency with age, accumulation of dust within the fitting itself, and depreciation of reflectance as walls and ceilings age. So all these factors directly affect maintenance factor. So if MF is 0.7, it is a good light fitting. If it is 0.65, it is medium, and it is 0.55, it is in poor condition, right? So next we will understand the difference between light source and a luminaire. Okay, light source is nothing but the light emitting material. Like here the tungsten wire is a light source. Okay, and luminaire is nothing but along with its fitting is known as luminaire. Okay, so light source is nothing but the light emitting material. Luminaire is light emitting material plus fittings. Okay, so that is known as luminaire. So there is a term known as luminous efficiency, which is given by lumens of luminaire divided by lumens of light source. So obviously here also lumens of light source will be greater and lumens of a luminaire will be smaller, right? So this is a term known as luminous efficiency. So up till this point we saw utilization factor. Okay, then we saw depreciation factor, and then we saw maintenance factor. Okay, UF, DF, MF, and then we saw luminous efficiency. Okay, so next we have various terms which are associated with light. Okay, so let's see one by one. Flux is nothing but lumens is emitted by light source. F is equal to 4 pi I. So F is equal to 4 pi I na. So 4 pi is the steradian and I is the candela. So lumens is equal to steradian multiplied by candela. Okay. Similarly, intensity candela I is equal to F upon 4 pi. So candela will be lumens divided by steradian. Steradian can be also written as small s and r. So luminance is nothing but candela per meter square. So this meter square is dependent on the distance. It's the light beam that is emitted, that is reflected from the surface, right? So it is also known as nits. Then we saw luminance. So this is based on area. Lux is equal to lumens per meter square. See, both are denoted by E, so don't get confused. Luminance, this square meter is nothing but distance into distance. Okay, this depends on distance, and lux, the denominator depends upon area of the illuminated surface. Then we have luminous energy. Luminous energy is also known as Talbots. That is lumens emitted by a particular light source in particular time period. So that is energy emitted by the light source, also known as luminous energy. It can be also called as Talbots. So nits is for luminance, Talbots is for luminous energy. Then we have luminous energy density. So density is nothing but per meter cube of volume. So luminous energy divided by volume will give you luminous energy density. Okay. Then we have luminous efficiency, that is lumens emitted per watt of power. So we have like 15 watt power, 20 watt power bulbs, no? So that will emit lumens. So its efficiency will be given by lumens emitted by the light source per watt of power. Okay. Then we have luminous exposure. Luminous exposure is nothing but lux into seconds. Okay, lux we have E is equal to I by R square or lumens per meter square into seconds. For a particular time period, it will be known as luminous exposure. Then we have luminous emittance, that is lux per meter square. Okay, and the last term is light power density, that is lux divided by efficiency. Now see, lux is nothing but E. Okay, E is nothing but flux upon area. Okay, and efficiency is nothing but lumens per watt. Okay, divided by lumens per watt. Okay, so this is light power density. Light power density is equal to lux divided by efficiency. So flux and lumen are the same thing, so they get cancelled. So this is nothing but watt upon area. Okay, watt divided by area. Okay, so that is lighting power density. You understood the derivation, no? LPD is nothing but lux upon efficiency, that is watt per meter square. Okay, so these are the various terms that are associated with lighting. Okay, these are very, very important terms, so you need to remember this units section. Okay, now next we will see about number of fittings that are used in an area. So we have a formula for this. Number of fittings is equal to lux into area divided by lumens into UF into MF. See, in question you will be given a particular area which needs to be illuminated. Okay, so they will ask how many fittings is required if they have particular UF and MF value. Okay, and lux, the illumination level for this area will be given in the question. So you have to ultimately find number of fittings. So number of fittings is equal to lux, that is illumination required in an area. Area is nothing but the working plane, right? Lumens is equal to flux emitted by each light. UF is utilization factor, MF is maintenance factor. So number of fittings is equal to lux into area of the surface divided by lumens. I generally write it with the units. You can also write as flux, okay, but you don't want to get confused, so write along with the units. Okay, lumens into UF into MF. Okay, room index. So next concept is room index. Okay, now you might have understood this formula. The next concept is room index, denoted by K. Okay, room index is nothing but comparison of a room's height to its width. Okay, so K is equal to length into width divided by height into length plus width. Okay, so this is the formula for room index. It is nothing but a comparison of room's height to its width. So if K value is greater than or equal to 3, the space is efficient space, and if it is less than 3, it is an inefficient space. So what happens if there is an inefficient space? You need more lighting, correct? So that's the common terms we saw. We saw first number of fittings, and second we saw room index. Okay, so right now in this class, from starting we saw utilization factor, depreciation factor, maintenance factor, we saw luminous efficiency, we saw difference between light source and a luminaire. Okay, then we saw these various terms associated with lighting. then we saw number of fittings, and then we saw room index. Okay, so the next concept is daylight factor. Daylight factor is nothing but ratio of illumination inside. E is illumination lux divided by illumination outside into 100. So this value will give a factor that is known as daylight factor. So when I write this DF, don't get confused between daylight factor and depreciation factor. They are completely total concepts, okay, different concepts. So daylight factor is used to express daylight quality in a room. Express the daylight quality, how good the quality is in a room. So higher the daylight factor, the more the natural light is available in the room. So here we have a particular room with illumination inside EI and illumination outside is denoted by EO. There are three types of light waves that are reflected. One is direct sunlight which enters your house. One is reflected light from the sky, and the third is internally reflected light. Okay, so the illumination inside EI is a combination of sky component. So SC is nothing but sky component. Okay, ERC is nothing but externally reflected component that is reflected from clouds or any other atmospheric agents, and IRC is internally reflected components. For example, your light beam gets reflected from your TV or any other furniture, so that also affects the illumination inside. Okay, so the addition of these three will give illumination inside. So daylight factor is nothing but illumination inside divided by illumination outside into 100. Okay, it gives us how good the quality of light is. Okay, so we have particular values. Less than 2 means room looks gloomy, the room is dark, artificial lighting is needed most of the day, right? So the first column is for average daylight factor, second is for appearance, and third is what we have to do for it's basically energy implications. So less than 2%, the room will look dark, so you will need artificial lighting most of the day. If it is between 2 to 5%, it is predominant daylight but artificial lights are needed. It is a good daylight but you need lights in some of the areas. Okay, so it implies good balance between light and thermal aspects. And if it is more than 5%, room appears strongly daylit, and the implications are daytime electrical lighting rarely needed but potential for thermal problems due to overheating in summer and heat losses in winter. So if it is greater than 5%, consider your room is very hot. Okay, you probably don't need artificial lighting but your room is hot. So these were the various factors that we saw in this class 2. So again I'll repeat, we saw utilization factor, we saw depreciation factor and maintenance factor, we saw luminous efficiency. Okay, we saw the difference between light and a luminaire. Light is nothing but the emittive surface and luminaire is along with its fittings. And then we saw various terms which are associated with lighting. Okay, these were the various terms which are associated with it. Please write it down and try to understand this, it's very easy. Okay, then next we saw number of fittings, lux into area divided by lumens into UF into MF. Then we saw room index, that is length into width divided by height into length plus width. If it's greater than or equal to 3, it's efficient. If it is less than 3, then it's inefficient. Then we saw daylight factor. Daylight factor is the daylight quality in a room. It's given, it's in percentage. Okay, daylight factor is always expressed in percentage. So EI upon EO into 100. EI is illumination inside, EO is illumination outside. Okay, so EI is illumination inside, that is combination of these three concepts: SC, ERC and IRC. SC is sky component, ERC is externally reflected component, IRC is internally reflected components. Then we saw what the daylight factor number implies. So there are three values: less than 2, 2 to 5, greater than 2, and we saw the appearance and energy applications. So guys, this was my class for lighting. Okay, so in next class we will be solving problems which are related to lighting. There are also other concepts which are related to this, that is nothing but there is space height ratio, okay, SHR we call it as, and there are many other factors which affect lighting in a room, okay, but these factors are way beyond our scope in architecture, okay. So as an architect you need not remember all these concepts, so just concentrate on what we learned today. So in next class we will be solving problems. Thank you very much. Take care.